Another 26. Core Dragan Barracks. Gold find, cold, poison, monster barrier. I remember that was like 35% of their health. It's added onto the top of their health as a shield. Resource burn. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Let's play it. Let's play it. There we are. I think that was the dungeon that we were just in. Shambles of vermin. Barracks? No, I guess not. Monsters' attacks from a distance burn 16% of your primary resource. That's not even on like a chance or anything else. It just does it. And that is going to be horrid. Like, wow. Awful. This is a bad dungeon. I think we know what kind of enemies they are yet. But let's see if we can peek in and maybe drink the right potion. Hello, who is present? Oh, that thunder going off. It's freaking hilarious. Bunch of horrors. It's skeletons. No, we must have sold them all. Let's have the 900 armor and be a badass. If these were the same level as me, they'd be reduced by 74%. But they're much higher level than me, so it's lower than that. I'm stunned. It's bad. We made it. We're activating the gate controls. 2 of them. Hey, I'm at. Damn, that was a reflex dodge from that executioner above me. Slay 5,000 vampires? What titles do I get? Ashen Aristocrat. Meh. Looks like I'm getting some nice loot so far. Gate control 1. Hey, Maze! I was wondering if my chat was broken because no one has said anything all day, but here you are. You're here to chat with me. Oh no! You're not here to chat with me. You're here to go home. So yeah, just quickly while you're here, how does the stream look? Does it look good? Nice. Oh, going for a beer. Excellent. Can I come? Yeah, that's one of the things I did do actually. I did increase the resolution. But yeah, how do you like the new looking chat as well? Look, I made a fancy chat on the right, and you haven't seen it in person yet. Kind of fades in and gives you a good bit of info, and no, I don't have a jet plane. Plus I'm agoraphobic, so how would I even get there? Maybe we'll have like a virtual beer at some point. But this is nice to get like the Twitch affiliate. You need to have like an average of like 3 people watching for a while. So you're one person. If there's 2 people in the background watching but not saying anything, I meet the quota. Yay! And then I can transcode to mobile phones a bit better. Yeah. I thought it looked nice with the grey and red theme that I was doing with everything else. Yeah, I think, you know, I can change the fade time and everything else, and I can put the chat into slow mode if I need to, and some other things, but I don't think we have to worry about the settings with 10k people just yet. But someday, hopefully. I want to try and get like the bottom of the box for each chat a little bit smaller, but I just can't figure out where that is in the settings. Like you have to type it out in this other type of code called like CSS that I'm not used to. You have to write it with all these strange parameters and whatnot, and just like I don't know how any of that stuff works. I've just been kind of like guessing and trial and erroring. Like I put in a value and I put it at 500 instead of 10 to see what it looks like at 500 at an extreme, and then I'll go, oh, okay, so that's what that does. I guess I'll make it like 50 rather than the default 5. But yeah, that's my method. Oh really? You know CSS? Okay, well you quickly relearn it and then I have you do it. Oh my good lord, this is rather devastating, this room. I need some things to come off a cooldown. Help. I got this like dungeon affix where it like steals my resource that I'm using to cast my good spells, and it's kind of nightmarish. Oh yeah. Sure, I mean it's like a lot of things, you know, you give them up early and then you look with hindsight and you say, oh man, if I'd pursued that I could have been the best at it. It's like I had all the streaming gear just packed up for so many years when it was all ready to go. Like, why wasn't I streaming? I just didn't do it. It was just easier to just play the video game in the morning instead of setting it all up. Like, I had to sacrifice some time to get it all up and running again. But yeah, I think World of Warcraft was your problem there. Maybe when you stopped doing that in 2005. I mean, it could also just as easily have been Company of not Company of Heroes, City of Heroes, because that also came out at the same time as World of Warcraft, and that was a cool game. But I don't think that's the one you're thinking of. But City of Heroes was great. It was like one of the best superhero games, and it was an MMO. Oh, it's really, really cool. It's like literally build your own superhero, fight crime. There's all sorts of gangs, but also they go sci-fi and also steampunk and everything else. Like there's all sorts of different enemies in it. And you know, you level up. You get skills for your character that you can put in that belong to different like superhero schools. You get a guy with limited vulnerability, and he's like the Hulk. You can get a guy that uses claws, and it's a bit like what you'd expect from Wolverine. And so on, and it includes everything. You lost your date the day before you got your first computer. Wow. So yeah, you transfer from what you were doing and just give it all up, 100% cold turkey, and then just do the new thing, and that's it. Alright, yeah, so maybe you saw some like screenshots and things of it, or videos. It was great. But the IP, like the intellectual property, belongs to I think a Korean studio or a Japanese one, and they just don't give away their intellectual properties when they don't want to use it anymore. They kind of see it as a bit of an insult that that you can fail with your intellectual property and then you give it to someone else who then succeeds with it. So they never sell them on. So they just keep them, and you just don't get any more games from it anymore. And they will just sit there and just hold on to it, because if they can't succeed with it, they don't want to see anyone else do it, because it's embarrassing. But it's a shame, because there were a couple of American companies that were really interested in like picking it back up and carrying on the game, but you know, can't do it. I think the best thing about the old WoW is, of course, what people hate about it now, which is the slowed down experience, you know. In Dragonflight, you can just level a character all the way through and it doesn't really matter. Like, you can just delete a character because you can just build it again in a day. But the thing that's, you know, took so much out of our life in 2005 was that your character mattered. Every little slice of that EXP bar was hard earned, and it was important to you, so you needed to get back on the character when you had the free time to progress it some more. And it was so cool. And like every item that you went through was generally moving from one blue to another blue. And then when you finally got to the purples, and then you equipped a purple over a blue, and it really mattered. Whereas as WoW just throws like, you know, whatever color loot at you now, it doesn't matter. You just cycle through loot so fast as well as levels that it just, you don't get any feeling out of it in a lot of places on the leveling up. Ooh. They're making it faster? What a mistake. Well, that will allow you to reroll something when it's not meta, like every other patch when something else rockets to the moon and it's just broken and everyone needs to reroll. Reroll culture. So there's that thing about Warlords of Draenor where people say like, oh well, you know, in Warlords of Draenor all we did was park our characters by the mailbox because you could send the followers out to get on missions to get the actual loot for you. So you just sent your followers out on the mission and then set a timer to log back in 8 hours time to, you know, to pick up your swag. Don't bother raiding, don't bother fighting anything, don't ever leave the garrison. There's where all your gear is. But that's the one that I never played, so, you know, I can't really comment. But like the gold inflation as well, like you were supposed to get trillions of gold out of the missions during Warlords of Draenor. Yeah, the first one with the mission tables, yeah. Yeah. Oh, this guy teleports so much, this enemy. There we go. Uh-oh. Whoa! But yeah, WoW used to be good times. Totally. But I just can't stand the Dragonflight story. Just, I'd rather be doing anything else. Like I stated at the beginning of that patch when I left and tried. I tried the story some more. No. Can't do it. I've been really enjoying like looking at the original story in World of Warcraft because it isn't all about the factions killing each other. Like a lot of it is, and a lot of the quests are just really interesting and brutal where they need to be instead of too huggy and awful. But yeah, there's some bits where they cooperate with each other. Like you can talk to the guy at the burnt down inn in Dustwallow Marsh, and he's a human and he's an investigator, and he's just like, well, set aside the differences for a while. Let's find out what happened to this inn. And it's just perfect the way it was, and now it's just so bad and so uninteresting. Like the factions used to matter, and now they've just merged them into a blob with the cross-faction guilds, and they'll never undo that now that it's done. So choosing Horde and Alliance now is just like a looks generator. And I guess when you're raiding and you want that extra 1% more performance, like it matters which passives you took. It's silly. I don't agree with what they're doing with World of Warcraft. Whoops, I wasn't supposed to be talking for World of Warcraft for so long over the top of my Diablo IV video. Eep. Yeah, that's true too. They don't ever attempt to make any of it sort of fair, or down the middle, or split you off to certain amounts of people, so that, you've got a balanced team on either side. It's just like the tide. Okay, well, I'm doing Nightmare Dungeons, which have extra affixes to them. The green one is positive, and then I'm getting ever-increasing amounts of negative things happen to me. Monsters in this dungeon start with a 30% barrier that's part of their, 30% of their life. And monsters from a distance burn off my primary resource, which I use to cast my good spells. And yeah, you do just kind of do it over and over again, but harder. And then there's these, like, super advanced, you've seen the regular skill tree, I'm sure, but there's super advanced Paragon levels after your level from Diablo 3, if you remember doing any of them, if you did continue on. And I've just got to fill out this huge board full of tiles that gives me things and stuff when I get to them. And yeah, a lot of it is about getting the levels. So you get 3 points there per level, and then the level up one, so I think 4 per level. And you've just got to keep on doing things until you reach the maximum power. And I think the items drop at a slightly higher level. It's a little bit like doing Mythic Plus in World of Warcraft, which I know you didn't do. But it's the same sort of system. You just keep on scaling through forever. And then if you get bored of your character, you hate how it plays, you can play one of the other characters, and you've unlocked like an easier to get to the endgame mode by doing it once on any character. Or you can completely respec your guy. Like I could be, instead of a werebear, I could be a werewolf. Or I could be a druid minions guy. And there's all sorts of in-betweens with interesting items that completely change your build. So there's a lot of content to it, but you won't be doing storyline forever because it just runs out unless there's some in the battle pass or whatever. But yeah, all my earth spells now are werebear skills, so the earth spellcaster is now different from what I could do with an earth spellcaster that is always also a werebear, because there's all sorts of interesting things you can add to that. So it gets very interesting with like thinking about what kind of things you can cross over. But there's only a limited amount of them in the game. They only came up with so many for each class, so I guess even eventually you might play all the different ways you can play every spec, but it would take you a while. And then generating gold in this game is more interesting because there's actual services that require ever increasing amounts of gold. If you get a bad stat in your item, do you remember reforging? It works a little bit like that, where you can choose one of your stats and then change it a bit into something else of your... Well, you don't do it of your choosing, it's like a random roll. And then it gets ever more expensive each time you do it to an item, so if you keep on random rolling things you don't want, it ends up costing a fortune. Yeah, the gem system is interesting because you can upcycle your gems into better gems, so that's cool. It's fun. It takes up a lot of time picking up the little gems and building them up into the bigger ones. And just everything's kind of good. It's well polished. The animations are nice. There's a lot of fun to be had. But if you don't enjoy this style of game and just looping around the same content over and over again, you wouldn't enjoy it. Alright, well, have a good time, and have a beer from me for yourself as a treat, and I'll see you later. Bye bye. Okay, one more blood bowl somewhere. Let's pick up this. See if we can find it.
The knights penitent are either dead or roaming the halls of I watched them for days as an encounter at my father's room. I approached and pleaded with them to come home. The creature that had been my father attacked me, and I sent him to escape. I couldn't say anything left of my father had lost his eyes. Only fear and rage. Mother was right. I never should have come here.
Oh wow. She found her dad and he was a vampire. Or a zombie. Uh-oh. Oh no! My first ever death in a nightmare dungeon. The whole time. Wow. Brutal. Just so much freeze and everything else, and nothing came off a cooldown. Ouches. Whoa. They also deal a lot of damage. Oh, and I died right before the dungeon was going to be over as well. Then it doesn't count against your death amount. There we go. We got our level 13. Still really eager for that level 15 to help me out with something earlier on in the Paragon board. But we did good. We did good. Right, our experience potion just ran out. Just drink another one of them. But, keep looking around, see if we can find some more high-level maps within the dungeon. I say that, and then there's only like this slither that we can look in. And the other place is just so damn far away, I'm not going to bother. There's a nice chest back there. A very nice chest indeed. Anybody else here in the vicinity? Oh, Mr. Item. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, no, what? More swiggity swag.
I'll take it.
All the ancestrals that are a low level, and then everything else is free to delete. That's yellow or blue.
Father bless.
Or triangular shaped if it's a gem. I'm guessing those are in the corner because I already looked at them. Oh, we'll seek up to 3 targets. That's more. There used to be 2 on that. On every other time I've seen it, I think. We can destroy this, I think, because the one straight from directly from our book gives us +2 to Earth skills. It's a bit spread out all over the place. You're not going to have, well, I'm not going to have companion skills and like Earth skills and everything else at the same time. So yeah, we'll destroy that. What were these 2? That's probably a keepsies because it's a one-hander. I think we'll probably destroy this though. I'm certain I've had better than 28 seconds. So destroy, keep.
What will it be? You can take what's left.
Okay, so I appear to be live again. My open broadcast just crashed a whole bunch of times for fun because it likes to. I don't think you missed much. Can't remember where the crash was now. I'm just so tired of restarting it until it, maybe works again. So I remember to go to the stables. This is the horse I found. This was the pre-order horse I've been riding. Another horse I found, and a ghost horse that I found. Freaky. yeah, armor that I found along the way. Pre-order one that I've been using. Ah, cool. Stag mount. And finally a very deserty mount. With the different trophies. This was a Shava from the beta. We got Ram's Head. Demon Head. Jangly Keychain. A different horn. And a bundled up skull on a tooth. Skull tooth. So we'll stay with the Shava. Do kind of like the Druidy one just for a bit of a change. Who looks best in the Druidy one? Ghost Druid? Yeah, let's be a Ghost Druid.
May your road be calm.
I might hate it, I might change it back. But for now, let's do it.